Before I bring out Brian Fox, I'd like to underline the success that Brian Fox has had before we bring him onto the call. So just this past week, Brian Fox has celebrated a birthday, has surpassed the 1 year mark from founding Trusted Herd, and there have been more than 4,000 reviews left on Brian Fox's platform, Trusted Herd. But most importantly of all, on today's show, Brian Fox has won the opportunity to pitch first. Brian was able to activate his network and get a whopping 75% of the vote of 232 votes for him and Trusted Herd to pitch our investors first today. The crowd has chosen, and it is my honor to welcome Brian Fox to the program. So, Brian, take it away.
Hey, Ken, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Go ahead.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for having me on MinnoTank. So as Ken just said, my name is Brian Fox. I'm the CEO and founder of Trusted Herd. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so my startup is Trusted Herd. What is Trusted Herd? It's a universal staffing database for the experiential marketing industry. So you might be asking, what is that? Experiential marketing is when you're a brand and you have a product or service and you want to go out into the public and promote that. So when you think of the Bud Light girls or Miller Lite team out at bars or the Red Bull vehicles driving around, that is all experiential marketing. And the people that work those events are brand ambassadors or promotional workers. So what Trusted Herd is it's 50% of it is job posting, hiring, and event management. And then the other 50% acts like Glassdoor, where workers and companies can submit reviews. So for me, what led to Trusted Herd, this is where my startup, I feel, in my position is a little bit unique, certainly in the startup tech world, is that I've actually been in this industry for 13 years. I've lived every single user of my company's cycle. 6 years, I worked at a national agency here in Chicago, overseeing events, including the Indianapolis 500 for them. And then 4.5 years ago, I started my own event agency, and those brands that you see on the right-hand side there, those are who we've been able to work with. But the one frustration that I've always had, and all of my colleagues and everybody in this industry, is staffing. And that's really, staffing these events are the most important because these are the workers who are your front of the line. They're your first contact between your consumer and what that brand feels and represents. So kind of the cycle of Trusted Herd is at the end of an event, a company gets to rate a worker, but in an industry first, that worker also gets to rate the company. So we drive mutual accountability. And what we do with all of those ratings is we turn it into an aggregate. And so if you have an event anywhere throughout the US, create the job post on Trusted Herd, and within 5 minutes, you can search within a whatever mile radius from that exact event address, and up comes a ranked list of talent, number 1 through the bottom. Click through and see profiles and pictures and resumes and past experience and past reviews. And at that point, you know, Ken is the number 2 available worker. He's 2.4 miles from here. And with a simple click of one button, you can gauge his interest on if he'd like to work for your event. But at that point, you have top 10 talent in about 10 minutes. So that's the really exciting part about Trusted Herd. And then the whole cycle starts back over. So some of the most impressive stats, there's 2 on this page that I really like from the past month, is that in December, we had a 2-week stretch where 5 companies posted 31 jobs. In that 2-week stretch, because of those jobs, we had 600 plus new workers that were on the database. And what's great about those workers is now the next company that comes along to New York or Dallas or Chicago or San Jose, wherever that event was, they have access to those workers, and these are core promotional workers as well as anybody that they pull into the system. So every day it just goes stronger and stronger. And as Ken alluded to during the intro, the half of our platform, which is Glassdoor based, is workers can actually add any promotional job they've had in the last year and still rate that company and still ask to get rated. So we had a record month in November, and then December absolutely smashed that record where we lifted reviews by 70%. So we're really buzzing along. It's past 4,200 now, and really that number grows every single day. And then within the past couple days, we were selected to exhibit at Collision down in New Orleans on the beta track. So we'll be going down there in just a few months. So this is a real quick Snapchat of what, or snapshot of what the platform looks like. So when a worker would log in, this would be the homepage that they would see. Similar to Glassdoor, when workers search any single company in the promotional marketing industry, this is the page that they would pull up. And so all the company's information is there, the top review, and then they can read honest feedback from other workers in there. And then this is one that I'm really proud of, and what Trusted Herd is kind of all about. And so this is the pay scale feature, and the pay scale is on every single marketing industry, whether they're staffing or a marketing or a general company, on their page, and it shows the top 12 positions in our industry. The next column is the industry average for those positions, and then that third column is what that company pays on average. So again, it's all about transparency. Looking at kind of the final points before we kick it off here with Ryan and Ken and additional questions, is really what Trusted Herd is all about is accountability and transparency. And that's key in this industry. It's key for companies that do staffing in the event marketing space that shouldn't, because it shouldn't take a company 2 to 3 months to pay a worker. And same goes for workers out there. If they're top of class in an event, when I go back to Cleveland, I know that I can reach out to Ryan. But what about the 3,000 or 2,000 other companies or brands that have activations where then Ryan starts back at square one? So it really incentivizes him to give 100% at each one of these events. And event marketing work is fun and it's easy, and it's showing up on time and smiling and relaying brand messaging. And there's really not much to it other than being the face for that brand or product. So without further ado, that is the end of my pitch. And then on this last slide here, we are raising $200,000 in safe agreements, and a lot of people put on events. And so if it's not you, or you have a friend or know somebody in your professional network that puts on events and needs talent, Trusted Herd is an incredible source for them. And feel free to share my information with them, and look forward to connecting. Thanks.
Excellent. Brian, great presentation, great company. I understand the need for it. It seems fairly simple to use, something that I like to look at in the